Marching Panthers will be competing against 16 other high school marching bands at the Pontiac High School Indian Showdown. They will be in Morton next weekend for their invitational. Take a moment, stop out, and support the Marching Panthers. Pontiac tomorrow, Morton next weekend.
Football, of course, there's a team involved tonight, Pekin, as he missed on Gavin. A deep playoff run the season ago has been the Willard Lake City that didn't end up going the other way at all. Run through it before he falls down.
Panther fans, it's time to meet the starting lineup for tonight's Washington Panthers. Under the direction of head coach Darryl Crouch, who enters tonight's game with a record of 148 and 52 overall. Starting defensive lineman, number 98, Derek Cox. Number 65, defensive lineman, Robert Martin. Defensive lineman, 52, Noah Bell. On the D-line, 46, Carter Prina. Linebacker, 30, Eli Peppis. Linebacker, 44, Jace Harlan. Linebacker, number 5, Eli Bear. Defensive back, number 8, Andre Lewis. Number 34, defensive back, Grayson Bart. Number 11, defensive back, Tyler Brown. Number 2, defensive back, Kaden McQuarrie. The Panthers are coached by Darryl Crouch, Todd Stevens, Mark O'Neill, Nick Spears, Kyle Wisher, Dale Dawn, Gary Beard, Jack Davis, Aaron Davis, Dakota Bowler, Dan Walker, Travis Ingstrom, and Danny Thornton. Return on the play for the Panthers, number 34, Brayson Barth. Brought down by the Dragons, number 1, Esteban Leon. The penalty is on the Panthers, an illegal block in the back.
Set them up right at about the 27-yard line is where Humphrey and this offense will set up shop. Everything runs out of the backfield for the Panthers. And
the Panther drive will start on the 27-yard line. First down, Washington.
The bulk of his shares come at the tailback position. It'll be first down and 10. Jumbo set for the Panthers. Fullback Jace Harlan gets a seam.
Number 44 on the carry for the Panthers, Jace Harlan. Brought down by the Dragons, number 11, John Richmond.
All said and done, we're a game of 6. Garland again, great job with the fullback. Undersized fullback, trying to get lost behind that offensive line and trying to get back defensively. Play action pass. Wide open. Should have went down the middle.
Pass was intended for number 82, James Johnson. Broken up on the play by number 20, Ramaz Watson. Third down and 4 for the Panthers.
Third down and 4 for Washington. James Johnson, 82. Tallest at 6'4", sophomore. Wide receiver will be on the far side for this next play.
Penalty on Washington's a delay of game. Third down and 9. On the 28-yard line.
So that'll make it a little bit more of a challenge. Third down at 9. Wide receiver part. Side, not going to gain much out, continues to push forward. This will bring up fourth down.
Quarterback keeper by number 19, Tyler Humphrey. Brought down by a host of Dragons. Fourth down and 3 for Washington.
On the play clock. Sending this one away. He's backpedaling, forced to. Watch this one dance inside his own 20. And look it up on there. Dangerous there. The Dragons with a minimum about 4. Begins to take the field. Here is stout Washington defense. Nice snap. Football in the backfield picked up by
That's number 5, Eli Bear, bringing down number 3, Elijah Hart. Second down and long for Pekin.
Handoff to Hart. Hart up the middle, has some room to dance. A late flag comes in. If this is a face mask against Washington.
Ball carrier on the play, number 3, Elijah Hart. Brought down by number 46, Carter Prina. There is a flag on the play. Face mask penalty on Washington.
still a very talented Pekin squad with the 1-2 record full. They have a lot of fresh faces and new places. It's a Pekin team that is more than capable of giving people challenges night in, night out. Out of the shotgun.
Ball carrier for Pekin, number 3, Elijah Hart. Brought down by number 65, Robert Martin. And number 30, Eli Pappas. Panther fans, it's 3rd down. Make some noise. That's a Panther sack for number 8, Andre Lewis.
Is that them? Oh, yeah.
Fourth down and 17 for Pekin.
Back deep 2-turn this point for the Panthers. Defense gets them off the field fairly quick. It'll be returned on the run. Into that right side, putting it up the field. Inside the 40.
Ball is on the 28, where it is 1st down, Washington. Number 2 on the run, Kanan McQuarrie. That's a 1st down, Washington.
Great offensive line to think in front of it. Again, we'll take the guard. Put the distance in about half.
Panther running back number 2, Kanan McQuarrie. On the tackle for Pekin, number 78, Jace Hackman. 2nd down and 5.
Once more out of the eye. It's a play action pass. Hopefully, pressure and finally spun down to the turf. Big play by Pekin in the backfield as Jackson Mills and moving from backfield.
Humphrey is sacked on the play by number 40, Anthony Morelli. 3rd down and 17 for Washington.
Definitely have a kicker with enough leg. Take turns. Special teams department will have a charge. Timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an important announcement. If your license plate number is CR 95998, please report to your car immediately. CR 95998, please report to your car immediately.
set for play once more. Panthers right out of the shotgun. Goes out of the backfield. It's going to be a quarterback drop for Humphrey, and the Dragon swallows him whole. It'll be a long down coming through Washington and decision time.
Washington quarterback number 19, Tyler Humphrey, brought down on the play by number 40, Anthony O'Malley. Fourth down for Washington.
Devin Miller will be the place kicker for the Panthers. Again. From the home turf. Oh, pick is up on the way.
The Panther kick is no good by number 49, Devin Miller. First down, Pekin. Ball on the 23.
Well, again, we're looking at the 5:17 mark remaining in the first quarter. But you're right, Devin. Maybe let the team hang around. The confidence they will gain in that big stop. Last team will drive Dragon. Boost the confidence. As they operate out of the shotgun once more. This inside handoff spinning up the gut. Not a ton of room to operate that time. It's about 2.5 to 3 yards. That's all said and done. Single back set, toss play is to Connor Martin. He's trying to hit the edge. Big again, it's a middle yard. Toss out of the gun. 4 wide receivers. Handoff is up the middle, but the Panther front unyielding. It's a great linebacking core. Defensive front for the Panthers. That takes it to 4th down and about 2 yards to go. Looks like we can the team will make their way out. Bounce out of bounds at about the 48-yard line of Washington. Looks like we have a late flag on the play. This may go against Washington. Wait to get the official call, but usually a flag this late is something unsportsmanlike. It is. Against the Panthers. Try and make back that yardage. Continue to talk about it. During the play, post-play, some can see that has an effect. Beautiful night here in Washington. Packed grandstands, 2 well-traveled student sections, 2 teams that know each other all too well. Press box of blues, I was against the team's their offense back, which at this point, neither offense.
An unsportsmanlike penalty against Washington. Ball will be placed on the 32-yard line where it is first down, Washington.
And handoff up the middle. Look at that front and the push that they get behind Harlan for McQuarrie. He's able to gain about 8 and another late flag. This Pekin's player, as many indicate, will be going against Washington again.
The ball carrier on the play was Kanan McQuarrie. There is a flag on the play. Personal foul against the Panthers. Washington ball now on the 25-yard line.
25. And a rough start to the drive, back-to-back penalties going against the Panthers, but offense will get themselves out of this.
Second down and 17.
Second and 17. Get out of their own. Toss play far side, 2 and 3. He's trying to find some open space. Gets almost all of the penalty yardage back.
That's Washington's number 2, Kanan McQuarrie on the run. Isaac Thomas, number 28 for the Dragons, brings them down to the ground. It is third down and 11 for the Panthers.
Then 5 men in front. They're undersized front in terms of going against Washington. Spread out pass, looking into the flat now, trying to go to the second level. Intended to score Brown, wide receiver, so looking for that. Fourth down and 11, and probably expect the punch.
Section's fired up, already some fancy stuff. I mean, look, you see back and forth that one thing is true, those student sections well left.
Well, back, this one away. Runs on. Away. It's a high arcing punt towards Martin, and Martin will not elect to field this one on it. Wisely walks away.
Panther punter number 81, Joe Smith. Pekin will now take over on the 37-yard line, where they will have first and 10.
Shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the left. Another hand up the middle. Again, Gavin, you see that offensive line. He's unable to get a push up front. This
Number 52 on the stop for the Panthers, Noah Bell.
Sorry. Sorry.
With all the bodies within about 5 yards of the line, I think maybe they would take a shot play sooner or later to see another inside zone again. That's a yard. Third down.
12, Frank Warfield for the Dragons. Brought down by number 46 for the Panthers, Carter Prina. Pekin is now facing a 3rd down and 10.
Warfield is the running back on 3rd down and 9. Wide receivers to the left for Pekin. Last step in the pocket, nowhere to go. He swallowed it.
That's a Panther sack for number 44, Jace Harlan, and number 30, Elijah Pappas.
Actually, we have sacks for both Harlan and Pappas. Now making our 14 as the first quarter expires. It's 0-0 between the Dragons and the Panthers.
The combined squads of Pekin and Washington cheerleaders will now perform the Mid-Illini cheer. Pekin punt by number 8, Lucas Arnett. Fair catch by number 34, Brayson Barth. Ball is on the 31 where it's first down, Washington. Ball carrier for the Panthers, number 44, Jace Harlan. Tackle on the play for the Dragons, number 3, Elijah Hart.
We'll hand off once again to Gurry. He's got some speed.
Tackle by number 28, Isaac Thomas. That's number 2, Kaden McQuarrie. First down, Washington.
First down is achieved. It'll be 1st and 10 at about the 46-yard line. Going with jumbo sets, 3 tight ends on the field for Washington. It's a handoff to where he spins out of a tackle in the backfield, salvages about the
McQuarrie with the run. Tackled by the Dragons, number 20, Watson. Second down and 7. Ball on the 49.
Second down and roughly 7 to go for the Panthers. Another handoff up the middle.
Number 44, Jace Harlan with the 51-yard touchdown run.
54-yard touchdown run for Jace Harlan, the fullback. As he breaks the Schools tie, ending the PAT. Now hold, kick on the way, and kick.
A hold by number 34, Brayson Bart. The extra point is good by number 49, Devin Miller. Washington 7, Pekin 0.
Touchdown run for the Panthers, Devin Miller. Lined up in second, get us back underway. Ethan Miller, it's a line drive, takes a bounce across the 15. Got a ton of room to
Pekin kick returner, number 20, Ramez Watson. Brought down by a host of Panthers. In on the tackle, 17, Mason Burke. Pekin takes over on the 19-yard line.
Split running backs out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Play action fakes. Under fire. Sneaks. One touchdown.
That's a Panther sack for number 30, Eli Pappas.
Panthers show pressure. It's an unpicked up point. Again, he's going.
That's a Panther sack for number 5, Eli Bear.
So after you see your pass protection a little shaky the last 2 downs, it's 3rd down and over a country mile, 3rd and 25. Coming up for Pekin. An inside handoff, room to operate, breaking free out of the backfield is Hart. Doesn't get back to the original line of scrimmage, but at least give the run team some room to breathe.
Dragon running back number 3, Elijah Hart. Brought down by number 11 for the Panthers, Tyler Brown. 4th down and 14 for Pekin.
Panthers can't get returned to the near side of the field. A lot of lead blocks if they could. They are able to get the punt away. The flag in contact with the punter. Return to the near side for Bart. He's easily corralled. Multiple Dragons just shy of the
Dragon punter was number 8, Lucas Arnett. Punt return for Washington, number 34, Grayson Barth. Brought down on the play by number 20, Ramez Watson. Panther fans, Washington takes over now on the 42, where it's first down, Washington.
Receiver out in the eye. Again, it's a handout to Harlan. And again, he breaks free. First down, 12 when it's all said and done. And another first down and 10 for Washington.
Number 3, Elijah Hart. Number 11, John Richmond on the tackle. Number 44 with the Panther first down. That is Jace Harlan. First down, Washington.
And all Jace Harlan so far on the Panther offense. Receivers on the far side. Johnson. Fury, the all-everything running back. That's the Fury now with spin. Again, he gets close to the first down mark. Might have it. Ground game for the Panthers is open up.
Panther running back number 2, Kanan McQuarrie. 72, Blaine Thomas. 3, Elijah Hart on the tackle. Second down and short for Washington.
Definitely one of the best, especially in central Illinois. Get out of the eye. And now this is Kanan McQuarrie. He continues dragging defenders with him. Goal for the game. First down and 10. 14, so not quite goal to go.
Ball carrier number 2, Kanan McQuarrie. First down, Washington.
Changing things up defensively. Another handout. Kanan McQuarrie the gut after dancing a little. Oh, he's still there.
Number 2, Kanan McQuarrie.
By number 2 in orange. And Miller will line up for the PAT. It is up and it is good.
Snap by number 2, Kanan McQuarrie. Hold by number 34, Grayson Barth. Extra point, number 49, Devin Miller.
And 5:32 to go here in this second quarter.
WCHS Booster Club is selling 50/50 tickets tonight. You can find 50/50 ticket sellers throughout Babcock Stadium. Kurt Zare and the Pork Producers are sponsoring Pigs for Pigskins. Find their product at the concession stand.
Takes the snap and again, nowhere to go out of the backfield. The skill position player whistles the ball before the ball came out.
Ball carrier on the play, number 3, Elijah Hart. Brought down by number 30, Eli Pappas.
Panthers defense packing it in. Nobody deeper than 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. They can beat him over the top. Blitz comes. Picked up well by Pekin. Deep ball near side. It is called down by Moulton. And that will be good enough for a Dragon first down.
Pass is complete to number 44, Connor Martin. Brought down on the play by number 34, Brayson Barth. First down and 10, Pekin. Ball on the 39.
Stepped up well in the pocket to deliver that flag route. And now it's a touch pass. This will count as a throw attempt as Martin again tries to spin forward. Out of York.
Ball carrier on the play, 44, Connor Martin, brought down by the Panthers' Jace Harlan.
Wide receivers and a tight end. On the field for Pekin. It's a shotgun toss play to Elijah Hart. Left to cut it back up with maybe.
Number 3, Elijah Hart. On the tackle for Washington, 46, Carter Prena. Panther fans, it's time to make noise. 3rd and 10. Pass was intended for number 11, John Richmond. Covered on the play by the Panthers, number 34, Brayson Barth. Pekin now faces 4th and 10.
4th down and 10, one team out here for the Dragons, and you would think a lot of people had this maybe as more of a lopsided game than this. It is locked down 14, definitely a win. Barely gets away, will be returned by Bird. Quickly right at about the 31-yard line.
The punt by Pekin's number 8, Lucas Arnett. Punt returned by 17, Mason Burke. Ball is on the 31. First down, Washington.
4 wide receivers. Mason Burke. And a jet sweep handoff to Mason Burke, who is absolutely captain by Richmond again. He's made a couple of
Tackle by number 11, John Richmond. Ball carrier for the Panthers, number 17, Mason Burke. Ball carrier number 2, Kanan McQuarrie. Third down and 7 for Washington.
Pekin defense here, Gavin. You dial up the pressure, you get a little more.
Hi, can I sit by you guys? Is this what you're supposed to do?
Continue to march strong. Putting it over
Tackle by Pekin's number 3, Elijah Hart. That's number 2, Kanan McQuarrie. First down, Washington.
Sticking with the eye on 1st and 10. It's play action fake. Humphrey going down the middle of the field. Got a man down there, double coverage. And he held onto it. What a play deep down the field. That was Garrett Cox, 98, the senior tight end. Again, double coverage, big play.
What a big play right there from Washington. Hauling it in, 50-50 ball.
Quick toss play to Kanan McQuarrie. He hits the edge. Little stutter step, continues to glide downfield inside the 10. So it'll be first down and goal at about the 9-yard line. So up 14. This would be a great opportunity for the Panthers to really put some arm's length distance between them and the Dragons, and it appears that Doug Nutter and the Pekin defense want to talk about it. So again, a very productive drive going here.
I want to apologize to tonight's viewers. They weren't able to hear us for the entirety of the game up until just moments ago. As you were hearing the sounds of Babcock Field, just couldn't hear us. So hopefully you're enjoying taking it in nevertheless, but I guess you'd probably enjoy a little live commentary while we're at it.
Well, I mean, I've got family members that back home that are tired of me talking, so I'm sure the people of Central Illinois are all but too happy to get us on the hush-hush mic, but almost like you were here in person with the sights and just the sounds of the stadium for that first quarter and roughly 98% of the second quarter. But again, if you're just tuning in, we're at the minute 26 mark here in the second quarter with all that time remaining here in the first half. Doug Nutter and the Dragons just called a timeout trying to preserve a 14-point deficit, but Kanan McQuarrie and the Panthers have other plans. As Humphrey hands off to Harlan, fakes the handoff to Harlan, and he keeps it himself to about the 5. It'll be third down and goal. Second down and 5. So Elijah Hart continues his busy night tonight, especially on the defensive end. He's gotten some carries in the backfield, but nothing really to speak of offensively. He's been a good force defensively. Handoff again, Kanan McQuarrie somersaults into the end zone for his second of the night. Touchdown, Panthers.
Twice as nice from Kanan McQuarrie, and again, just thinking we couldn't hear all the analysis and stuff we gave earlier. Couldn't hear us, but you were definitely taking in a couple of McQuarrie touchdowns now as you hear the great lively crowd here at Babcock Field, Cody. McQuarrie just putting an end to a great drive there from Washington. Got it done in the air, got it done on the ground, and showing why they are a legit team.
And PAT is up and good. So 21-0 reads the scoreboard here in Washington as the Panthers continue to roll here through the first half. Again, blank scoring for either side through the first quarter of action. Now 21 unanswered for the Panther offense, and they will be ready to kick this one away with just a few seconds left on the clock. 48 and a half to be right on the money. But again, Gavin, this is kind of a tricky spot here if you're Pekin, right? Because you've seen your offense go backwards quite a bit at times. Do you try and put on the wing-tipped shoes and make one last last-ditch effort to the end zone before halftime to salvage some momentum, or do you try and just play conservatively and go into the locker room with a 21-0 deficit?
Cody, I'm pedal to the metal. I don't like seeing that conservative action. There's no place for that in our sport of football.
Okay, then.
Sport of football where it's built on big plays and momentum and exciting action. I want the Dragons to soar in and breathe fire here on this last drive. It's going to be hard to do. We'll see if they can get a little action going in the last 48
Another
seconds.
deep kickoff will sail to the 1 and return. Dragons will give it a chance. And they won't be able to get it out to the 20. Great kick coverage by the Panthers. Late penalty marker, and this could be going against Pekin. And if that's the case, Gavin, this marks them back even deeper, and we saw the troubles they had in pass protection earlier this half.
Yeah, they've been able to have a couple of good throws when Goss has time, Cody. But as we've kind of outlined, it's been far and few between.
So as the officials gather to collect the outcome of the play. And this will be a legal block in the back against the Dragons, and it appears there's another penalty and appeared to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Washington.
They've had a few times, and I suppose they never heard my keys to the game unless we were on earlier and we don't know. I'll have to go back and review the footage, Cody. But keep the laundry off the field, and Washington's had a hard time with that this evening. They've just shot themselves in the foot so many times. This could be, 2 more scores for Washington had they not had some of these penalties and things. So started to clean it up here in the second quarter, but again, going to the locker room late with some penalties, you don't like that. And it looks like Coach Crouch is definitely giving a stern talking to a couple of guys on the sideline, making it known, gotta play discipline.
And so, again, after a quick trot from the officials, and they will reconvene. They originally marked it back on the Pekin illegal block in the back, then marked up the yardage for the unsportsmanlike conduct. And so now we will see where they adjust the ball, if they do on the third time's the charm. And if everything holds, it'll be first down and 10 from the 24. Goss out of the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and it looks like 1 tailback. Handoff up the gut, swallowed right at the line of scrimmage. Just nowhere to go yet again. It's been tough sledding for these tailbacks as Warfield tried to find an avenue.
Well, evidently, Coach Nutter doesn't share my same theory of all gas, no brakes. But all things considered, for the Panthers team, who is certainly the Mid-Illini favorite at this point, in my mind at least, being down just 3 scores isn't the worst thing in the world, and there's been a few bright spots, but looks like it'll be 21-0 headed into halftime, and Washington starting to turn it up.
And so Goss's pass will indeed bring us to the halfway point here in Washington. Again, the score, Panthers 21, Dragons 0. As you've been watching Clutch Sports Media on our Domino's Game of the Week.
Yeah, so far in this first half, it was a slow start for both teams. Not a lot of offense, not what you'd expect. Certainly unlike our other game of the week, which is on CIProud.com. That's Peoria High and Normal Community. That game is very high scoring, but this is a typical Mid-Illini game. Grind it out, ground and pound, a lot of defense, and that's just what you come to expect. Good football. Fundamentally sound football, and we like to see that a lot. But you look there on your screen, about 15 minutes, a little less there on the clock for halftime. But while we got a break in the action, let's get a quick word for our great sponsors in this evening's game, starting with Domino's. Domino's, the title sponsor and official sponsor of every Clutch Sports Media Game of the Week. Domino's, located in Washington, North Pekin, and Pekin, as well as several other stores spanning from Galesburg, the Rock Island areas, down to Bloomington, Normal, anything in between. If you haven't tried it already, I don't know about you, Cody, this sounds pretty good. New pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread. You can go to Domino's.com or the Domino's app today. Also by Adam Merrick. If you're selling your home, you got to call Adam Merrick. Adam is the only agent in today's market to put his money where his mouth is. If you can't sell your home in 59 days, Adam will buy it, taking all the stress and pressure off of you. So if you're looking to sell your house, piece of land, a property of some sort, Adam is your guy to call. Also by Kep's Sports Bar and Grill. Check out Kep's pre- or post-game or anytime for outstanding service and a family-oriented environment. Great food as well, I must say. That's located at 313 Muller Road in Washington. Kep's Sports Bar and Grill. And State Farm, your local good neighbors in Pekin and Washington. Jake Weston, JakeWestonInsurance.com, or by phone at 309-444-4441. Also, Zach Butler in Pekin. See the number on your screen, 309-347-3115, sfbutler.com. We appreciate all of our great sponsors that help keep our broadcasts free. And Cody, how about CSM Overtime? Haven't really talked about that yet. And then we'll take a break here for a few moments. But CSM Overtime is now live on ClutchSportsOwl.com, packed with tons of feature articles, featured stories, photo galleries, stats, standings, and more. You can subscribe today to continue to support local high school sports coverage and help keep live broadcasts free like this.
Yeah, Gavin, you mentioned all the great stuff that CSM Overtime can bring, and one of those things is our CSM Pick'ems, where every week our football analysts, me and Gavin included, go through the rundown of local games in the area and really kind of slot in who we think is going to take the cake in each matchup around the area. Gavin, I know you got kind of off to a rough start, and I'm tied currently with Jonathan for first place, and you've made a slight comeback in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I had a really good week, too. I predicted 10-0, or I should say, yeah, 10-0, not missing a pick. I went 9-1, so I'll take that. That's pretty close, and I believe the game I missed was pretty close as is, but our season pick'em's a lot of fun. You get to kind of see what we're thinking and who we predict each week, and that's just more grounds. If you want to get on social media and agree or disagree with us, go for it. We had some games we picked this week. We pick across Big 12, Mid-Illini, Heart of Illinois conferences, all your small school action, even some 8-man football. We'll pick games for that as well. We'll pick 10 of the best games around Central Illinois each week. So make sure you check that out on CSM Overtime. Our guys have put in a lot of hard work and effort. Jonathan Michael spearheading the operation, but everybody has done a fantastic job. Ethan Carboni, Lateef Love, Owen Dimful, of course you, Cody.
Got the podcast there as well.
Yeah, indeed. John Camosa. A lot of people a part of it to help make it possible. A lot of people that take times out of their busy schedules to write and do research on these featured teams and players. If you're a big high school sports fan, if you're a fan of a local team, this is certainly the coverage for you, unlike anything Central Illinois has seen before.
Absolutely, and we'll go ahead and leave you with a quick break as we leave you with the Washington Community High School Band for halftime.
One, two, three.
Your 2023 Marching Panthers. Future performers for this year's show: Ellie Reverenschafer on flute, Lauren Wolfmeyer on clarinet, Samantha Schweizer on saxophone, John Selden on trumpet, Emery Milo on mellophone, and Jake Faulkner on the baritone. The band would like to thank all the band patrons, including their diamond level patrons: Caterpillar Foundation, Essex Law Office, the Law Office of Louis P. Milo, McDonald's, Sunbelt Rentals, Teamworks, the Olmsted family, David and Heidi Rodier, Chris and Kristen Kopinski, Heartland Bank and Trust Company, Remax, WRC Downtown, the Goldhammer family, Trace Rojas, St. Mark's Lutheran Church, Rhett Miller, and Jennifer Einerson. The Marching Panthers staff includes Dan Dietrich, Brass Caption Manager, Woodwinds Caption Manager Susie Arns, Battery Percussion Instructor Bob Barker, Megan Brent and Amanda Lim are the Color Guard Caption Managers. Brass Tech is Harrison Brent, Battery Tech is Nate Fleming, Ava Stovall is Drum Major, James Fry, Sound Technician, Paula Johnson is the President of the Band Boosters, and your WCHS band is directed by Mrs. Lisa Parrott and Mr. Jim Tallman. And now, Panther fans, it is time, Orange Crush, it's time for the guy-girl cheer.
Let's go, girls. Come on.
And welcome back, everybody, to Washington, Illinois, home to tonight's Domino's Game of the Week on ClutchSportsIL.com. Cody Roskins alongside me, Gavin Russell, as the halftime festivities wrap up with the boys and girls cheer here at Washington High. We've got south of a minute to go here on the game clock, Gavin, but a lot of stuff to talk about.
There is, and, you know, probably the biggest thing to talk about is the lack of offense we've seen in this game comparably. 21-0. Washington is in front, but again, comparably, we know they're capable of a lot more. Pekin's defense has not looked all that bad. They've given up a couple big plays. A couple of things haven't gone their way defensively. Pekin also hasn't been able to put any points on the board. So we've seen a lot of good defense here tonight. We've seen lots of sacks, probably between both teams, getting close to double digits for both teams combined. Overall, defensive battle, and this is a classic-looking Mid-Illini matchup right here as I, out of the corner of my eye, see Herb Knobloch, the longtime AD here at Washington High School, shooting off T-shirts in the T-shirt cannon to the students. Herb just getting after it, living his best life.
Herb definitely does it all here at Washington, but as you see, both the Dragons and the Panthers have retaken the field. Like you said, Gavin, it was a 54-yard touchdown run by Jace Hartland that broke the game open, and a couple red zone touchdowns by Kenan McQuarrie to really set things in motion to where we are now. Is take another quick moment to read off some of our gracious sponsors.
Indeed, and we'll start with Domino's. Domino's is the title sponsor of this evening's ball game. Maybe you're looking to eye up your post-game meal already or want a little something to munch on in the second half. Domino's is the place to go. You try their new pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread, or all one-topping pizzas are just $7.99 at carryout. You can order at Domino's.com or on the app. Also by Adam Merrick Realty. Adam Merrick and his crew will have you covered next time you're trying to sell your home. With over 20 years of experience and 14,000-plus homes sold, Adam Merrick, no doubt, is one of the best teams in the country when it comes to selling your property. You can go to AdamMerrick.com to learn more. Also by Kep's Sports Bar and Grill. Kep's is the official pre- and post-game spot. When you're here in Washington for a football game, basketball game, or anything in between, stop by anytime, though. And they're located at 313 Moeller Road in Washington. Great atmosphere, outstanding service, and great food at Kep's. Your State Farm agents, local to Washington and Pekin, are your good neighbors. If you're looking for insurance to cover anything in life, auto, home, health insurance, whatever it might be, you've got State Farm for that. Call Jake Wesson in Washington, 309-444-441, or Zach Butler in Pekin, 309-347-3115. And you saw their respective websites if you're so inclined to go there. We appreciate all of their support of high school athletics and Clutch Sports Media.
And Gavin, I understand you've got just a couple more scores you'd like to rattle off here before we get underway.
Yeah, a lot of good ones going around the area. How about EPG blanking Elmwood Brimfield 37-30, so a small school matchup if you're following along with that. 37-30 EPG in front. Normal is up big over Peoria High 49-28 in the third quarter. Hayworth over DMAC right now 28-14. Peoria Notre Dame taking care of business against Richwoods 35-7. Manual down to Lincoln 21-6 at the half. Farmington currently over Mercer County. The Farmers rolling 20-7. Dunlap 41-0 against Limestone at the half. East Peoria up 13-7 at half against Canton. How about a big game in the Mid-Illini, though? Morton and Metamora Potters lead the Redbirds 17-6 in the second quarter is our last update. That's a big one for implications going forward to who could maybe even win the conference. So keep an eye on that. Metamora trying to stay in contention. Morton looking to continue to solidify themselves. So a lot of great games going around the area. If you have any score updates, make sure to tag us in your social media posts or leave it there in the chats. We'd be happy to shout out other games going around the area. But Cody, we got 2 more quarters of football here for Pekin and Washington.
Absolutely, and again, just touching on that Morton point you made, Gavin, for as much credit as people seem to be giving the Week 7 matchup between these Panthers and Dunlap, as maybe a de facto Mid-Illini title game, Morton continues to dance in the shadows all too happily under the radar. But back to this contest, Pekin will return the second half kickoff, so they'll get a chance to at least cut into this deficit first. And it's all got to start with that offensive line, because so far it's been good in spots and there's been some other areas they need to work on. As Devin Miller gets us underway in half number 2. 2 return men there for Pekin, trying to both vie for the return. Elijah Hart trying to spin away and is finally ripped down at the, call it 26, 27-yard line. And that is where Goss and the offense will try to set up shop.
You know, you're Pekin, you're down 3 scores in this game, not ideal, but this is the best possible situation you can be in, getting the ball to start off the second half, Cody. But you got to make something happen. I mean, I think the best they've done this evening is just 1 first down on a drive, maybe a couple, but still they haven't really gotten the ball even near the red zone at all. So try to just get something to work.
Up the gut handoff, continuing to rip off just a little bit more yardage than what we saw in that first half. Calling a gain of about 5, so 2nd and 5 coming up for the Dragons as Hart knifed just about every foot of turf he could have out of that one.
I know I said pedal to the metal in the second quarter, but maybe the game plan now is just conservative runs. You pick up 4 or 5 yards here and there. Eventually, that's going to get you a first down, and just keep the ball moving forward. They've struggled with that in tonight's ball game.
Well, Pekin knows at a minimum they'll need at least 3 drives to tie the game. As under pressure and down in the backfield, Goss, just no daylight as he kept the ball on the read, and it brings them back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe even a yard further back, so the 3rd and 11.
If that is truly an option play, Goss certainly would have been better off handing the ball to his running back, Hart. But if that was a play action of sorts, looked like there was definitely a couple of missed blocking assignments. Pekin has had success when they've used the running back as an additional blocker, so we'll see if they continue to employ that.
Only the 4-man rush down the sideline, and it is incomplete, in and out of the breadbasket of Connor Martin. So 4th down and long coming up for the Dragons.
Despite that not really turning out to be much of a drive for Pekin, I really like that last play right there. That's the idea. They're having pretty good success beating members of the Panthers secondary. Haven't been able to keep up, and obviously they're putting a lot of focus in on that defensive line. So if Pekin can open one up and burn them, they'll eventually find a score, but still nothing yet.
So once more, it'll seem Washington will set up in plus territory, as it is a high arcing short punt. Members of the return team have to watch out. It'll take a good peek and roll to about the 45-yard line. So a punt that was netted for almost 10 yards goes a little further than that, and the Pekin defense will at least have some field to defend against.
Yeah, but still, that's not a lot of field to go for Washington. The mighty Panthers have turned things up in the second quarter, scoring 21 unanswered in the second frame. But Pekin's defense has shown at times tonight that they can get it done. They've had some sacks. They've had some tackles for loss, and they've defended the pass pretty well for the most part.
In the eye for the Panthers, and it's on the handoff to Kenan McQuarrie as he spins again out of the first tackle and is down after a gain of 5.
Really hard to, read what he's going to do. He can slip each and every way. Being able to spin out, turn it up with his legs, just really hard to read what a running back like McQuarrie is going to do with the ball.
So again, 2nd and 5. Handoff is up the middle to Jace Harlan. Again, he sprung the big 54-yard touchdown earlier. He's wrestled down after cutting the distance in half. So 3rd down and short. Gavin, are you selling out for the run?
I think you have to. There's always a chance that Washington could try to pull a little play action, something here, but you see here the I formation is what it's going to be again, most likely. Or if nothing else, they're going to have 2 men in the backfield. Washington's still trying to figure things out, though. But yes, I would very much expect to run just one receiver.
Strong eye handoff is to Kanon McQuarrie, who cuts it upfield, has the first down, bounces off one Dragon, steps over another, and has it down inside the 25 to the 22, 23-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 Washington.
All the credit right there goes to the blockers. I didn't quite get a number on it, but there's a couple of Dragons that could have made the tackle, keeping them short of the first down. And P picked up some great blocks, and McQuarrie, that's enough room for him to run through for a first down.
And off up the middle, Jace Harlan continuing to gash off yardage. Takes it to about the, call it 16, 17-yard line. It'll be second down and maybe 4.
That's very elusive play right there as Harlan just takes a quick handoff, you know, not a lot of time for Pekin defenders to react. You almost got to pick a player and just say, okay, that's who I'm going to go after. But then again, that's just a gamble in itself, so really tough position for the Pekin defense.
So on second and 4, another handoff. Kanon McQuarrie shows off that patented spin move, still edges out about a yard. So again, third down and a yard and a half to go for the Panther offense. Pekin's forced some timely stops so far. They haven't been able to get one once inside the red zone.
Ball carrier, Kanon McQuarrie, third down and 2.
2 yards to go. Again, I'm selling out for the run if I'm Doug Nutter's group. He's got 5 up on the line right now, but honestly, you know, you might get yourself one safety back there, but I'm throwing all my linebackers trying to just stuff those holes. I think this one's going right up the gut.
Let's see what it is as Washington tries to draw him offside. It's a handoff up the middle to Harlan, and he may have gotten close despite bumping into Humphrey in the backfield. We'll get the favorable spot and a first down for the Panthers.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a generous spot there, but it did look like he kind of pushed ahead, just got turned backwards once he joined the pile. Pekin defense doing a pretty good job there, but just 2 yards to go. Kind of hard to stop a running back like Jace Harlan.
Pekin's defense been on the field a lot during this game. Handoff to McQuarrie, continues to slash off guard inside the 5 to the 4. And he's smelling his third touchdown of the night.
Yeah, I think a hat trick would be all right with Kanon McQuarrie. That's pretty easy business for him, though.
Had more than his fair share of touchdowns last week against Metamora in the Panthers' blowout win over their rivals of the Redbirds. Again, handoff. Kanon McQuarrie follows his lead blocker, Harlan, to the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. They extend the lead. It's now 27-zip.
And McQuarrie just getting after it once again. Finding the end zone for a third time this evening. It's been the running backs getting it done for the Panthers tonight. Harlan had the first touchdown, and then it's been 3 unanswered by Kanon McQuarrie.
Just an impressive showing on the ground tonight for Washington has been the calling card of this offense to this point in the season, as Miller's PAT is up and good. That'll make it 28-0 with 6:35 to go in the third quarter. And again, these two teams feeling each other out for the majority of the first half, but after 3 late touchdowns in the second quarter by the Panthers, they have all but blown this game open.
Indeed, it's really been all Panthers since the start of the second quarter, and again, it looked promising for Pekin early on. They just haven't had the offense to combat it. Perhaps if Pekin is scoring, you know, we could be going back and forth in this ball game, trading scores, but Pekin just really has not had success on that side of the ball whatsoever.
So the Panthers will march out and send this one away once more to the Dragons. Currently fishing up a score update. 49 points now on the board for Normal Community against Peoria High. Again, that's a game that a lot of people thought would be very high scoring, but again, that Ironman defense is it's the real deal, Gavin.
Oh, it really is. I've seen Normal Community twice this year, and honestly, they may be the best team in Central Illinois. They're a 7A.
They might be the best team in the state, one of them.
Indeed. If the Ironmen make a deep postseason run, we'll be shocked to no one.
As this kickoff sails to the 5. Dragons will give it a run out. A lot of Panthers in pursuit, though. Smoke just shy of the 20. So once again, the Panthers special team unit and Elijah Pappas able to come up and make the stop at about the 16.
I'm not an animal expert, Cody. What do you call that? Is that a pride of Panthers or a pack of Panthers? I don't even know what to say, the analogy there. But either way, a lot of boys in orange came to make the stop. And, again, every facet of the game for Daryl Crouch's group is getting it done, aside from some penalties. But nice job there on the special teams.
It is definitely a pride of Panthers, the correct terminology. I'll give you one better, though, Gavin. What do you call a group of dragons? As this one's a handoff up the middle, a little bit of running room. Again, that's more than really what we've seen out of the Dragons so far in this one, as gashing that one for about 8 yards was Warfield. I always joked with John Michael about this. What do you really call a group of dragons? We always called it a storybook of dragons because you really can't, find dragons in real life. So we always, where else can you find them? In storybooks, but
That's making me think, Cody.
Another handoff, trying to push the pile forward. Officials will give them about a yard, so 3rd down and call it a yard.
Now dragons, of course, are fictional objects.
Well, yes and no. There are Komodo dragons. But,
That's true. That's
but
true.
I don't think that's exactly what the mascot of Pekin is. Especially
But they're winged animals of sorts, so could it be a flock? Could there be such thing as a flock of dragons? Am I getting ahead of myself here?
Your guess is as good as mine. It'll definitely be something we'll need to research for next week. But on 3rd and a yard, the quarterback sneaked by Goss, and I don't know if he got much of anything, but he sprung out of that. It's the 2nd time we've seen a ball carrier inhaled by the swarm of humanity, so to speak, at the line of scrimmage, just to be spit out one of the sides for about an 8-yard gain.
Well, I don't know if there's a flock and a pride and a pack meeting up there, but Luke Goss spun out of it. We've seen both teams now do that a couple of times. Maybe the footing on the turf. I don't even know, but 1st down for the Dragons.
So according to Google, so take this for what it's worth, Gavin, the official name for a group of dragons is called a flight or a thunder of dragons.
Interesting.
So on 1st down and 10, Connor Martin will take the jet sweep handoff to the perimeter, chased down by Chase Harlan and company. Again, it's a very talented linebacking core between Harlan, Pappas, company. They just get the job done defensively. They'll bring up 2nd down and maybe 9.
Well, if nothing else, the Dragons are at least moving the ball forward. They did pick up the 1st down on this drive, and I feel like you just, for confidence sake, just try to get yourself at least one score.
Goss will work out of the shotgun and will drop to throw. Good pass protection. Will go down the middle in contested airspace for Martin. It's incomplete. Also had the option of Watson, number 20 in white, kind of in the slot.
I think I would have thrown to Watson right there. Again, much easier said than done, being in the quarterback's shoes, but that was double covered all the way. That's a really tough throw to make. Watson was one-on-one, and he's had a few of those tonight.
So on 3rd down and 9 to go, Goss out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the left. Warfield is the back in pass protection as this pass is complete. So Martin goes backwards, but then races upfield, easily picks up the 1st down. And that's one of the more successful plays of the night for Pekin.
Yeah, big 1st down right there, and if you want to keep yourself within striking distance, you got to move the football. Points aren't just going to magically appear on the board for Pekin, so this is the time to go. And, Cody, we haven't talked about it, but they got blanked last week, so they haven't scored points in 2 weeks. They didn't score that many in week 2 either, just trying to reverse the tide.
Another handoff up the middle, and again, swallowed right at about or behind the line of scrimmage. This Pekin offense has found a little bit more success so far here in the 2nd half. A lot of it has to do with the shuffling of personnel, and they've held the ball for a large portion of time on this drive.
Both teams are plenty deep. I don't think you necessarily worry too much about tired legs and wearing down. A 7A school and a 6A school get together. But probably some tired guys out there nevertheless.
Goss on second 11. Pass is batted down, incomplete. As the whistle finally blows, the back judge and that linesman just kind of glanced at each other. So it'll be third down and 11. You'd have to once again expect this ball to go in the air.
Yeah, I mean, I think from here on out, you might slip in a run or two. Might slip in a run or two here and there, but other than that, it's going to be pretty much air attack and air raid from the Dragons.
See if they can scheme somebody open here on third down and 11. Last time in this spot, they've looked the way of Connor Martin. It's trips to the left for the Dragons. Stacked box defensively. Free runners come in. Goss under fire, and he's wrapped up and sacked. Another for this excellent defense of the Panthers, and it'll bring up 4th and long.
Yet another sack there for the Panthers. And just puts a halt to a drive that was actually starting to come together. Didn't have anybody to throw to. Got to give credit to the Washington secondary for starting to clean things up a little bit. You got to think the home field had the crowd stomping the feet on the grandstand, making a little noise, put a little pressure on the team in white.
There's a snap. Punt gets away. Another high punt. And it is fair caught just across the 30. And that is where Humphrey in this offense will start their next offensive series. So I'd like to take this time to read off some of our sponsors that make this broadcast and others like it in the future possible. For Domino's, again, locations in Washington, North Pekin. And again, they are our head sponsor for this week's Game of the Week here on ClutchSportsIL.com. And Adam Merrick, if you're selling a luxury home, call Adam Merrick Real Estate. Adam and his team have been ranked by Real Trends as one of the top 25 teams in the country. Adam has sold over 14,000 homes in the past 20 years. Adam Merrick knows the luxury market better than the average agent. In fact, Adam and his team have a signature marketing program designed to help his clients sell for more money and faster, following fewer hassles. If you're in the market, don't sell without the intel of one of the best teams in the country. Call Adam Merrick Real Estate team. This play gets underway here. Penalty, and this will be going against the Panthers.
Yeah, I'd expect a hold immediately with the call there, and that's probably the biggest negative tonight for the Panthers. Can't expect perfection, Cody. Nobody's perfect, but winning football, you got to keep the laundry off the field. And so far, that's been probably the biggest Achilles heel for the Panthers. It hasn't come back to bite them, but if you play a team in the playoffs, you know, that could be state-bound as well, these things certainly will not fly.
And again, I guess if there's one thing that Darryl Crouch would take from this game, his defense has been spectacular, but the one thing he may want to clean up would be the penalties. And had a couple of unsportsmanlikes and some dead ball penalties go against the Panthers tonight, but that's really been the only hiccup so far tonight for Washington. Humphrey will sprint out pass out of the shotgun. Palms continues to scan, under fire, and nearly spins free of it, and will gain about 1.5 yards when it's all said and done.
Nice job to wrap him up right there. He could have slipped out of that, and that could have been trouble, gaining a lot of that penalty yardage back, but does a nice job to keep it 2nd and long.
I actually want to correct myself. That was Mason Burke, number 17, with the ball. So he's in at quarterback now for the Panthers. Didn't quite catch that on that last play, so our apologies to Mason Burke, but it'll be 2nd down and 18 to go. So backup quarterback in the game. It's a sprint out again for Burke. He's able to cut it upfield. Burke with a lot of room to move, and he will make it 3rd down and manageable on about a 10-yard, 12-yard keep.
The quarterback keeper for number 17, Mason Burke.
And we got a player down. Looks like he might be suffering for some cramps there, and you'll start to get that here on this turf.
So this will be another chance for us to read off some of our sponsors and make this broadcast like it and others in the future possible. For Keps, check out Keps before or after the game for a great atmosphere, outstanding service, and a family-oriented environment. Come play one of our 5 video gaming machines, and they're located at 313 Moeller Road in Washington. Also for State Farm, for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, and more. Give your good neighbor Jake Weston in Washington a call, or Zach Butler in Pekin. Of course, those two tonight having the matchups of their 2 local areas. And so far, it appears the Fighting Jake Westons are going to be taking this year's rendition.
It's looking that way so far. Weston probably looking to ensure a win for his boys in orange. I was waiting for that one.
But again, it appears the injured Pekin player is able to walk off, and that's number 11, John Richmond. He's a senior. He's done a good job tonight in a number of roles. We've seen him targeted in the offensive scheme of things, but he's also come down quite a bit out of the secondary to make plays in the box. And he's a guy for Pekin that's had a solid night, a night where maybe you look at the scoreboard and feel a little more down on yourself than what it really is. Trips to the right for Mason Burke. Quick pass towards that far side is hauled in, continuing to fight for some yardage near the 50.
And they get 2 first downs worth there and then some. It's the holding penalty set them back to about 1st and 20. And then 2nd down, went for little to nothing. But then Mason Burke bringing things up there, and with the keeper, then the pass for the first down is Washington right at midfield.
Same formation for the Panthers. It'll be 1st and 10 from just shy of midfield. Clock continuing to wind down. They'll send a man in motion, and a timeout charge to Dale Crouch. I think he saw number 20 creeping down. That was Ramez Watson coming in on the corner blitz, and that would have gone right into that jet sweep.
That's heads-up coaching, though, right there. You know, you don't want to see plays getting blown up. You know, you want to continue to put your guys in a chance to succeed and allow these plays to work as you continue to get them in game action and whatnot. It's going to make you more successful going forward. So probably a heads-up timeout from pretty smart football coach. Darryl Crouch has been at it a while. He's been in 19 seasons with Washington and certainly looking to make the last one his best one.
And it appears the Panthers are on pace to do just that again. We're just south of a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's 28-0. His Panthers currently lead. So far, he's checked off a lot of things on his to-do list this season. Couldn't quite get the home opener in his last one at that against Kankakee, albeit his Panthers gave powerhouse Kankakee everything they could handle and then some. And then they went out and trounced their rivals in Metamora just a week ago. Sprint option look. Burke will hesitate, keep it. Burke with some speed. Burke down the field, continuing to spin ahead for more yardage as his helmet comes contorting off right at the 25. And we'll give you a quick score update between Normal Community and Peoria High. It's 36-63 as the Ironmen continue to roll the Lions.
Boy, the Ironmen are so good. I mean, if you haven't had a chance to watch them yet, please do so. I'm sure we'll have them again in the future on Clutch Sports Media, and we appreciate the Ironmen letting us come to broadcast at their home stadium down there in Normal. But they are just going to be scary and probably showing on their way to a Big 12 Conference Championship.
Quarterback blast. This is the starting quarterback, Humphrey, who takes it to the right-hand side. So a little bit of intermingling between quarterbacks here in this one, but hitting that point, yeah, I would be shocked if the Ironmen drop a regular season game.
Yeah.
I mean, every matchup you see that you would just see on paper that they have a way to be favored.
Indeed. I mean, they've probably played their 2 toughest regular season games back-to-back weeks. Rival Normal West blanked them 43-0 and currently up by 20, 30 points against Peoria High, who was the state runner-up last year in 5A. So no joke teams on their schedule. You know, Big 12 play is never easy, but the Ironmen showing just how good they are.
Again, if you're wanting to tune in to Peoria High and Normal Community, you can find that on ClutchSportsIL.com. The link to that to CI Proud, where Larry Larson and John Michael have the call. Again, a 63-36 contest as the Ironmen currently lead the Lions. And as we get set for the 4th quarter of action, it is all Panther power as it's 28-0 for Washington.
It's been all Panthers since the 2nd quarter. And they've really just turned on the Jets. I mean, they have had everything going right. Again, a few penalties aside, but other than that, it's really just been dominance from the Panthers on the home field. You know, as you mentioned, they recognize some personnel and first responders here tonight, and just a great atmosphere here. The weather warmed up a little bit, it's September, but we're not out of the weeds yet. You know, this Illinois weather likes to give us some fits sometimes. You never really know what you're going to get, so maybe not quite football weather yet, but we're still wearing shorts and T-shirts. I'll take it, Cody.
A welcome contrast to just the intense heat we got through the first 2 weeks of the season. As Humphrey sends Walker out of the backfield. Humphrey steps up in the pocket, deep down the middle of the field, and it's just over the outstretched hands of one of his tight ends. Maybe like Prina going long, or Cox. Couldn't quite catch the jersey number on it. That digital camo and the white numbers. And it will be Garrett Cox. He had the spectacular catch earlier in the contest, and it'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, not easy to tell in those numbers, but, you know, if you're Darryl Crouch, you probably want to see your starting man at QB, you know, make some of those throws and capitalize on some of it. They can become a multi-dimensional offense. Oh, how scary they will be, and it'll be just as hard to defend them. You got 2 great running backs, and now you get somewhat of a passing attack, but got to start to dial in and make those throws.
For sure, and as the Panthers continue to march, it will be 3rd down and 7. And this will be Humphrey out of the shotgun, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, and Walker to the back. And it will be a quarterback keep, for Mason Burke as they continue to rotate in and out at the quarterback position, and it'll bring up 4th down. And you would assume that this would be a field goal attempt for Devin Miller, with the time and score being taken into consideration. And the field goal unit does indeed make their way out. Again, if you're just tuning in, Cody Roskins here, bringing you the action. Alongside me is Gavin Russell. For the first time since 2021, Gavin and I have had the chance to call a game together, and this one maybe a little bit more lopsided than we would have liked, but can't blame the Panthers for taking care of business. As Devin Miller try the roughly 40-yard field goal attempt. The low liner sails, and it is just wide left. See the shadow dance across the left upright, so he's 0 for 2 on field goals for the night, but is perfect on PATs. And the Pekin offense will take over once more. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and sticking with us. You understand that the Peoria High and Normal Community game is just about over, so we'll welcome any of you maybe transitioning over from listening to the sweet sounds of Larry Larson and Jonathan Michael bringing you that contest over on WMBDCIProud.com. So far, scoring recap tonight. It was a 54-yard Jace Harlan touchdown run that opened things up, followed up by 3 short red zone touchdowns from Kenan McQuarrie. They'll be split backs in the shotgun for Goss. He'll dump this one off underneath to Connor Martin. He tries to turn it upfield and gets what he can to just about the 30-yard line, so nearly to the first down marker. He's been one of the bright spots tonight for the Dragons. Had the big catch on the sideline earlier in the first half, and a couple of big plays in the defensive side of the ball as well. And as it appears, the Washington student section begins to serenade the cheer team. That gave them some halftime entertainment and effectively put this one on ice. Only about 5 seconds left on the play clock. This will be a charged timeout to the Dragons, and we'll take this moment once again to read off some of our sponsors that make this broadcast and others like it in the future possible. Starting once more, this is one of our Domino's Game of the Week. Locations in Washington, North Pekin. So, again, they're having the opportunity to see 2 of their spots take it on the gridiron tonight. If you haven't already, try the new pepperoni stuffed crust cheesy bread and our carryout deal, all one-topping pizzas at $7.99 each. You can order now at Domino's.com. And for Adam Merrick, if you're selling a luxury home, call Adam Merrick Real Estate. Adam and his team have been ranked by Real Trends as one of the top 25 teams in the country. Adam has sold over 14,000 homes in the past 20 years. Adam Merrick knows the luxury market better than the average agent. In fact, Adam and his team have a signature marketing program designed to help his clients sell for more money and faster, allowing for fewer hassles. If you're in the market, don't sell without the intel of one of the best teams in the country. Call the Adam Merrick Real Estate team. And if you're selling your home, call Adam Merrick. Adam is the only agent in today's market to put his money where his mouth is. If you can't sell your home in 49 days, Adam will buy it, taking all the stress and pressure off of you. Adam and his team have been consistently recognized as one of the top real estate teams in the country. Time is money. So when you want to sell your home, call Adam Merrick Real Estate, and your home is as good as sold. So again, thank you to those sponsors who make this broadcast and others like it in the future possible. We understand cut off just a little bit of the game action there, but not a ton doing on that play. So it'll be 3rd down in millimeters to go for the Pekin offense. Handoff is up the gut to Elijah Hart, and he appears to have more than enough for the 1st down. So just south of 9.5 to go in quarter number 4. Again, 28-0 really doesn't dictate just how close this game was at times. Scoreless through the first quarter. A handful of scoring drives for the Dragons got stalled out due to penalties. They were able to corral the Washington offense for a few times in short field, but ultimately the defense just on the field too long tonight. Kanan McQuarrie, Jace Harlan, and the like wore down the Pekin defense. Another handoff up the middle, swallowed whole by the Panther front. This will set up 2nd down and 8, Gavin.
Yeah, Cody, just, again, a tough evening for the Dragons offense. But, again, giving up just 28, I feel like there are some positives to take away. And as we mentioned, this is a Dragons team that's kind of refining itself this season.
As Goss tries to drop back to throw again, he's just spun around. And this Panther defense is just on the prowl. And this penalty appears to be going against the Panthers by the reaction of head coach Daryl Crouch, which would extend the drive for Pekin.
There's a flag on the play.
And maybe this is going against Pekin. It is a hold and will be declined by the Panthers.
Penalty is declined. It was holding on Pekin.
So bring up 3rd down and 8.
Dragons now looking at a 3rd down and 8.
And I'd like to see them just try to go to the air again. Pekin's had their struggles offensively, but why not just try to take a shot? Again, nothing to lose at this point. You never know, something special could happen.
As the crowd here in Washington begins to slightly fall out and try and beat the rush out. Just 8 minutes and change to go here in the 4th quarter in what has already been a decided ball game. Goss out of the shotgun, corrals the low snap. Good job by him. He'll step up, throws over the middle, and it's intercepted. A quick takeaway on 3rd and 8 as going over the middle. That appeared to be Zachary Ryan with the INT.
Hey, Goss isn't going to like having the INT on his stat line, but that's probably about as good as a punt, Cody. They haven't been punting it very far tonight, and puts them in about midfield. I would expect a pretty conservative approach from Crouch's group the rest of the way. You don't want to do anything risky, risk an injury or something like that. At some point, I wonder, do they start working in some of the 2nd and the 3rd stringers to get them some reps as well? Again, you got to think about the length of the season. We still got half of the season to go, 5 weeks left after this. So you want to keep some fresh bodies out there going into next week.
Madden Mendoza hands off to tailback. That is going to be Walker. And so we've seen the 3rd quarterback make an appearance tonight for the Panthers. Again, that's Madden Mendoza, the 6 foot, 170-pound senior who splits time at wide receiver. Handing off to Jacob Walker, one of those talented running backs. He'll be back next year, the 145-pound junior.
I'm really curious to see, of course, long way to go before we see this, but I want to see the Washington future, without Daryl Crouch. And, they've got a lot of capable people that I'm sure will step up as be short of a 1st down, it looks like right there. But really curious to see how things pick up. I mean, we've seen a few programs this year on Clutch Sports Media already that have had a turnover at head coach. I mean, how about Sacred Heart Griffin, a perennial powerhouse in the 4 to 5A range, and, getting a new head coach this season. For longtime head coach Ken Leonard, who finally retired after 500 wins in over 30 seasons of play. So, again, legendary coaches when they leave, how do schools and how do teams respond? I think Washington will probably be just fine, though.
Hunter Reed comes into the game at running back, and they will give it to the young man going right side. Cuts it upfield, has the 1st down. Is finally met by the Pekin defense after he gains the necessary yardage. And that will move the chains for another Washington first down.
23 for Washington, Hunter Reed.
And again, this offense continuing to motor along, Gavin. And Gavin, I know we always enjoy coming to Washington. It's just a special scene. The atmosphere is always excellent. But one reason you really like to be here is the pork chops.
Well, I do love a good Friday night pork chop, and I'll get to more of it after this play.
As Mendoza, again, hands off up the meter to Thomas Dietrich, and he dances for about 5.
But pork chops, every location that we've been to, I've been down to both schools in Normal. I've been to Dunlap. This is my 4th different location of the season, and my goal is to review a pork chop everywhere I go. It's kind of been a thing I do with each of my, person I call the game with, and give it a fair rating. A lot of things go into it. Don't need to break it all down, but had a good pork chop here tonight in Washington.
Sandoff left-hand side, cutting it back is Walker, and gets close to the first down yardage, but I agree, Gavin. And as much as these Mid-Illini schools like to jab at each other, the pork chop seems to be a hard-hitting point between all these schools. Everyone likes to think they've got the best pork chop on the planet, and while I know Pekin specifically likes to think so, the best pork chop I've had at a Friday night event didn't even come from the Mid-Illini. The best pork chop I've ever had came from Farmington.
I've never been to a Farmers game, and I certainly need to make my way down there. I would imagine the Farmers produce an excellent pork chop.
Breaking free, Madden Mendoza ices it. Long touchdown run, puts the game on ice, 33 yards, and the Panthers have all but closed this one out.
He's not thinking about a pork chop. He's thinking about a touchdown, Cody. Right there, gets it done, and even the backups coming in. It's got to feel good for them to get these in-game reps. Say, hey, you know what? If I got to step up in a pinch, I've been there, done that.
So Pekin Dragons will get the ball after this PAT on the kickoff, but they're looking to end a scoreless quarter streak, which if they fail to score here in the 4th, would extend 8 quarters. When I was in high school, Gavin, and granted I was not a feature member of any varsity defense for HSTW back in Iowa, but the longest scoreless streak we ever had went 20 quarters. Would have been sophomore year of high school. And this Panther defense, I tell you what, has got every opportunity to extend a defensive scoreless streak like they've got going. Obviously, they gave up the early touchdown against Metamora last week, but so far they're earning their way towards 10 quarters now.
Yeah, streaks of their own. So we've got a good streak and a bad streak going on here tonight, but showing just how good some of these teams can be in the Mid-Illini Conference. And Pekin, not a bad team. I mean, they're going to play some of the lower level teams in the conference and should take care of business. Your Canton, Limestone, East Peoria, respectively, probably should, in theory, win those games pretty easily. But, again, just playing a team that's just playing a lot better and playing at a high level right now in Washington. So, really no shame to Pekin and nothing that they've done tonight. It's just Washington has simply been the better team. And it's really hard to stop a team on the home field with a lot of momentum.
Absolutely. Speaking of East Peoria, your Raiders take on Canton tonight and had a good outcome, Gavin.
Well, they're still going. It's 25-20.
Oh, so it's been a little bit of a comeback even.
It has been. It's been an exciting game over in East Peoria.
The Raiders are looking to, I believe, not win number 2. And they've had a bit of a rebound last handful of years, got increased numbers in the program. And, of course, this is a talking point that's relevant as both Pekin and Washington will later see both Canton and East Peoria in some shape or form. But, again, they're doing a good job across the river.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, for some of those teams that would be considered bottom feeder territory, Canton, East Peoria, Limestone, they've had a tough draw. They've had some low turnout with numbers. No discredit to any of the guys that have gone out there to continue to play. You got to have the depth. You got to have the guys to back up, and they just haven't had that in recent years. All 3 of those teams are much, much younger in nature, so just getting better, coming along.
There'll be a play-action pass from Goss. He wants to go deep over the middle. Got a man over the top and running free. The biggest play of the night for the Dragons. as Watson scampers into Panther territory. As again, Ramez Watson, we said earlier in the game he had an opportunity to bust some plays open, but pass protection for Goss just couldn't hold up long enough to let these longer developing pass patterns really get to the point they needed to be. So it'll be first down and 10 from the 45. It'll be a handoff up the middle. Elijah Hart carries forward for a gain of 5. So again, teams continuing to push forward, and while maybe easy to say there's not much to be gained out of this, again, Pekin's trying to end what would be an 8 scoreless quarter streak against opponents. Last week blanked by Dunlap. And currently over 7.5 quarters of scoreless football. Jet sweep will turn into a reverse, coming back the other way. Running downhill and corralled after picking up the first down. Tackle made by number 9, I believe. Which would be one of the JV players. Excuse me, number 8. That would be Andre Lewis.
Yeah, Pekin starting to move the ball a little bit as, you know, Washington has kind of inserted some of the second stringers and whatnot. And regardless, Pekin just wants to break that streak and find a little confidence that could do wonders going into their next game. And, you know, gonna have to win 4 out of the next 5 after tonight in order to be playoff eligible. So you got to find it sooner than later, but Washington's still stifling with the defense.
Handoff up the middle. Doesn't go all too well for the Dragons. Stuff behind the line of scrimmage yet again.
Number 12, Frank Warfield.
So again, these Dragons, most of their success come through the air tonight. That's no surprise. This is one of the best run defenses in Central Illinois that they're going against. Held Kankakee's offense scoreless, and that's a team that beat Nazareth back in week 1, who's one of the state powers. Quick pitch to the outside to Warfield. And again, not much doing.
Really not a lot going on. And really now at risk. This is kind of the chance for the Dragons. Gonna have to make something of it. It is 4-down territory, so a couple of chances to keep the drive extended. But if you're gonna score, this is the drive.
On 3rd and 11. Goss drops to throw, has 3 men out in a pattern going down the field, and it is incomplete and nearly picked off. Late penalty marker comes in by the far side official in the secondary. We'll see if there was perhaps pass interference.
Haven't seen a pass interference tonight, and
that will go against the Panthers secondary. PI is the call. So that will give the Dragons a first down.
Of course, in the high school realm, it's not, you know, spot of the foul. It's a 15-yard penalty and a first down. So I believe this will be the first time the Dragons have entered the red zone this evening, and they'll have 2 and some change to try to punch it in. As again, some fans headed for the exits, but overall it's been a great night here. A little hazy later on, but a warm night and a good night for football.
2 wide receivers to left, handoff to to Elijah Hart, trying to go to the left-hand side. But, Gavin, I just don't know the last time I've seen 2 big schools get together like this and one's offense just be completely put in the mud in terms of just about anything they wanted to do. If you exclude the one pass play to Martin and the long completion we just saw on this drive, I mean, they may be looking at double-digit yardage.
Yeah, I mean, again, just a few missed opportunities here and there, and it's a game of inches, Cody. You know, you can make or break a game by the nose of a football. And again, a tough draw again for Pekin tonight. Just ran into a red-hot Washington team, and kind of all she wrote.
And a handoff up the middle, loose football. Who gets on top of it? And this may be Panther football, as they do indeed come out of the pile with it. Tate Hall, the senior fullback and defensive lineman, is the first one to it on the turf, and Dragons not thrilled with the offensive execution tonight, Gavin.
No, I mean, just 2 weeks in a row. You know, the defense was better, all things considered. Again, Washington, a very good team, and they've played 2 weeks in a row against high-powered offenses. You know, Dunlap has that dual quarterback threat of Johnny Bargan and Max Sutter. Washington has that two-headed rushing attack, so good things don't come in twos for Pekin. But they'll hopefully try to just move on and compile some things going forward. Washington, though, you just got to be happy with a solid win against the Mid-Illini foe that has taken care of business against you the last couple of years.
Handoff goes right-hand side for the Panthers to number 23, Hunter Reed. Saw some time on the last drive, but Gavin, I don't want to say maybe I'm the Dragons, bad luck charm, but the last time that I did a Washington and Pekin football game, Washington went into Pekin on their homecoming, and with about 90 seconds left in that game, scored 2 touchdowns, one of which came on a 2-point conversion to eventually win the game. That was when we first started doing our radio broadcast, and so Dragons will, after taking the last handful of meetings in this series, will drop the one this year. And again, very forgivable with the amount of success they've had the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, not a great show in the last couple weeks from Pekin, but certainly they're a team that's making improvements and refining themselves. I know they got some younger players in the works, so a year or two from now we can see Pekin get back to that level they were last year, but at the moment it's Washington's conference to run, and they look like they're the team to beat for sure. There's some other teams that might be vying for that spot. Morton, one of them, but definitely the Panthers rolling right now.
As the final second runs off the clock, I'm sure those watching over in Dunlap perked up at hearing you maybe skip over the Eagles. They'll see each other week 7 with these Panthers, but the final score here from Washington, Illinois in this Mid-Illini Conference clash, it's the Panthers once again taking care of business at home. 35-0 the final against the visiting Pekin Dragons. They fall to 1-3. The Panthers improved to 3-1, and the big 2 numbers going into next week for the Dragons will be 8-0, as in 8 quarters of 0 points on offense, and they'll look to get the ship corrected going into next week. Gavin, your closing game thoughts?
Yeah, no, it was overall a pretty good game. Started out kind of slow, and we saw a lot of good defense. You know, I'm a big defensive proponent. I'm one of those defense wins championships sort of guy. But at the end of the day, Washington definitely outlasting Pekin in a lot of those respects, and they got it going in the second quarter. It was Kanon McQuarrie with a hat trick of touchdowns tonight. Jace Harlan added one, and then a couple of Panthers in the supporting cast with some nice plays as well. So good football game, Mid-Illini coming through, but once again reaffirming, I said on our podcast this week, we start to see where the men are separated from the boys come weeks 4 and 5, and Washington certainly looks like they're the team to beat. We're going to see some good things out of Darryl Crouch's group the rest of the way.
Absolutely. Before we leave, I want to give one last shout-out to all of our sponsors that make this broadcast and others in the future possible. Starting first with Domino's, with locations in Washington and Pekin. If you haven't already, try the new pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread and their carry-out deal. All one-topping pizzas at $70.99 each. Order now on Domino's.com. And for Adam Merrick, if you're selling a luxury home, call Adam Merrick Real Estate. Adam and his team have been ranked by Real Trends as one of the top 25 teams in the country. Adam has sold over 14,000 homes in the past 20 years. Adam Merrick knows the luxury market better than the average client. In fact, Adam and his team have a signature marketing program designed to help his clients sell for more money and faster, allowing for fewer hassles. If you're in the market, don't sell without the intel of one of the best teams in the country. Call the Adam Merrick Real Estate Team and his sold guarantee. If you're selling your home, make sure you do call Adam Merrick. He's the only agent in today's market to put his money where his mouth is. If he can't sell your home in 59 days, Adam will buy it, taking all the stress and pressure off of you. Adam and his team have been consistently recognized as one of the top real estate teams in the country. Time is money, so when you want to sell your home, call Adam Merrick Real Estate, and your home is as good as sold. And for State Farm, for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, and more, give your good neighbors a call. From Jake Weston in Washington and Zach Butler in Pekin, both of which I'm sure we're proud of their team showings tonight. And finally, for Caps, Check out Caps before or after the game for a great atmosphere, outstanding service, and a family-oriented environment. Come and play one of their 5 video gaming machines, and they're located at 313 Muller Road here in Washington. One final send-off for those of us here in Washington, Illinois, for Ethan Carboni, Brock Stotler on the controls, Gavin Russell on the color commentary. I've been Cody Roskins, bringing you once again this Domino's Game of the Week here on Clutch Sports IL. The final score 35-0 between the Panthers and the Dragons. Thank you for tuning in, as we'll see you next week.